Now on CoastTV News.
Wind permit problems, how the Trump administration has delayed the controversial wind farm project planned for our coast. Council eyes Condos, a project in Ocean View, comes back for consideration 4 months after its public hearing.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Elisa Weber and welcome to Coast TV News Midday. We are taking a live look outside at Milford this morning and there is no sunshine in that sky, Bob. That is a very ominous view outside. Those clouds aren't looking too good.
Yeah, the clouds are a little pesky this morning, Lisa. Of course, we had all that rain last night, but we saw some breaks in the overcast. This is a visible satellite picture. You can see the breaks in some places, but a lot of white as well. That's indicating the overcast skies. Not seeing rain except for areas along the Maryland coast around Golf Club shores. You're seeing a few showers, and we're seeing some breaks along the eastern shore as well. You can see this little spin here. That's an upper level low, and then on top of that, we have a stationary boundary to our north and west, and those will interact and probably give us another round of showers and storms this afternoon. Some of those could be on the heavy side, maybe causing local flooding, as there is a stationary boundary. That will be the focus for the potential for flooding later. Flood watch from the coast, Ocean Pines, Salisbury into the eastern shore. That goes through today, but I think even farther north, we could start to see some flash flooding in Delaware. 70s and low 80s as far as the temperatures right now. Dew point still pretty high into the low to mid 70s and feels like temperatures into the mid 80s. And we're looking at winds that are coming in out of the south, so it's warm and muggy out there. Futurecast has us in the sun and clouds this afternoon, and I am concerned about isolated to scattered storms developing this afternoon. Some of those will pack a punch with very heavy rain. Be weather aware. Maybe some local flooding as we head into the afternoon. Even the evening hours, we could be looking at those heavy thunderstorms. Day part forecast has us dry until about 3 o'clock, so late afternoon, early evening, that's the best chance for those showers and storms. More on the flood threat, and then the heat is on for the end of the week. I'll talk about that and have your weekend forecast coming up a little bit later on.
All right, thank you, Bob. And strong storms brought heavy rain, flooding, and damaging winds to the Philadelphia region on Monday. The flooding caused havoc on the roads, as you can see. Several cars were stalled out while first responders pushed others to higher ground. Happening today, the emergency dredging project that was supposed to start July 21st near Ocean City. The Merit will begin dredging the bay near West Ocean City and the inlet. They plan to remove about 7,500 cubic yards of material. While some people are excited for the project to begin, some boaters we spoke with off camera are skeptical, saying the sand will just fill back in or that the project isn't needed at all. But one boater disagrees, saying the sand has built up so much that even experienced boaters are getting stuck.
My neighbor down here has been a monster on the water for at least 15 years. And he got stuck the other day. First time ever.
And officials say crews will be doing 12-hour shifts during the day. We now know the name of the person who drove off of the Delaware Memorial Bridge on Friday. The Delaware River and Bay Authority says a bobtail tractor-trailer cab crossed 3 lanes on the bridge and smashed through a concrete wall. Recovery operations took days, and officials identified the driver as 35-year-old Zer Murkov of Brooklyn, New York. The cause of this crash is still under investigation. An update on the offshore wind project off of Maryland's coast. It's been delayed slightly by the federal government. The Environmental Protection Agency found an error in one of the permits issued to alternative energy company U.S. Wind. In a letter sent to the Maryland Department of the Environment, the EPA highlights legal issues. It also states that the MDE gave people conflicting information on how to appeal the permit. Worcester County officials say they're happy to get any delay they can, but U.S. Wind says it is still committed to its proposed project. Happening tonight in Milton, regulating short-term rentals, the Planning and Zoning Commission is taking up the request from the Town Council to submit a formal report. This is to see if any additional rules are needed. Last month, the town put stricter regulations on short-term rentals. That is anything that's rented for 30 days or less. Milton also added licensing restrictions and occupancy limitations. The due date for that report is September 8th. This just in, plans in Ocean View are getting another look at by the Sussex County Council. This is for land off of Burbage Road, where there's debate over proposed condos. This is a conditional use request that would allow developers to build approximately 50 condo units. According to documents submitted to the county, the developer says during construction activities, care will be taken to preserve as many large trees surrounding the property. 2 months ago, the council voted to defer action on the ordinance. A heads up for drivers in Caroline County for road work on Thursday. The Maryland Department of Transportation State Highway Administration will realign traffic signal heads, install new signage, and restripe Route 328 at Route 404. This will be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., weather permitting. And according to MDOT, full closures of Route 328 at the intersection are possible. 50 days or less, that's the warning from President Trump to Russian President Putin to end the war in Ukraine. After touting his good relationship with Putin, President Trump now says he's unhappy with the Russian leader, saying he's been all talk and no results. President Trump is promising weapons to Ukraine and threatening more Russian sanctions. This as Russian attacks on Ukraine have only increased. The moves are meant to isolate and cripple the Russian economy.
We're going to make top-of-the-line weapons, and they'll be sent to NATO. We're going to have some come very soon, within days, actually.
And the shifting posture is a major change for the president, who's long touted his relationship with Putin and promised to end the war in his first day in office. Coming up after the break, empty lifeguard stands, how Delmarva government officials are getting involved in the ongoing issue on Assateague Island. Getting lifeguards back at Assateague Island National Seashore is a top priority for 2 Maryland lawmakers. The lack of staffing has been blamed on federal cuts at the National Park Service. U.S. Senators Chris Van Hollen and Angela Alsobrooks are urging the filling of vacant positions. A letter to the Department of Interior and National Park Service read in part, quote, "These ad hoc measures are unacceptable and there is no substitute for attentive lifeguards, especially assigning to monitoring water safety at Assateague. NPS's current limited safety measures burden neighboring beach safety and emergency response efforts, stretching services too thin." On the Virginia side, the town of Chincoteague is asking Accomack County to enter a cost-share agreement with the National Park Service. It would allow them to contact lifeguard services, and a Worcester County official says they are looking at a similar model.
We initially tried to piggyback on the contract that Virginia used, but I don't think they have everything they need to operate in Maryland, so we're going to look at other opportunities.
And Young says they may discuss the issues during tomorrow's Worcester County Commissioners meeting. And happening now in Ocean City, the police department is set to welcome a brand new substation. According to the agency, a ribbon-cutting ceremony is set for the location at the corner of South Baltimore Avenue and Somerset Street. Officials like Mayor Rick Meehan will be in attendance, and OCPD says this new building will help improve the downtown area and safety.
We saw some peaks of blue this morning. That was after the rain last night. Now the clouds have filled back in Laurel, 79 degrees. Headed into the 80s. We're still looking at a flood threat the next couple of days, so you definitely want to be weather aware. Congratulations to Roy Thompson from Milford on winning a brand new umbrella from Paul Davis and CoastTV. More on the flood threat and building heat for the end of the weekend. Your weekend forecast coming up after the break. It's another mild and muggy July day across Delmarva. We had some peaks of blue a little earlier. Of course, we had all that rain last night, but right now, gray skies on the Gutter Helmet Camp. 80 degrees in Ocean View, but the dew point 75, so it's that air you can wear. And temperatures do warm into the lower 80s this afternoon, and be weather aware for that chance of some heavier storms. Here are some impressive rainfall totals from last night. Over 1.25 inches in Laurel, 1.15 in Georgetown. Ocean City picked up 1.14 inches, over an inch in Delmarva. A little less than an inch in Bethany Beach and Seaford, 92 hundredths, and the list goes on. Salisbury, close to 9/10 of an inch of rain. Dagsboro, about 3/4 of an inch, about 1/3 of an inch in Rehoboth. Indian River Inlet, 31 hundredths. Lewis, 28 hundredths, and Prime Hook, 17 hundredths. So a good soaking last night. As far as excessive rain today, we're in the slight risk. That means we have about a 20 to 30% chance of seeing flash flooding later today. It looks like that chance backs off. In fact, we're not under any kind of a risk for the next 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday. But Wednesday night, I'm a little concerned for some heavier rain. Do have a flood watch for parts of the eastern shore towards Salisbury and the coast as well. This goes until midnight tonight. As we can see, once again, those storms moving slow and putting down a lot of rain. Upper 70s and low 80s right now. Most of us seeing the clouds. 80 in Redden, 80 in Dagsboro, 78 in Ocean City. Bethany Beach right now at 76. And those dew point temperatures still in the low to mid 70s. So still very muggy out there. It feels like like temperatures right now in the low to mid 80s, and the winds coming in out of the south, but pretty light. Here's a visible satellite picture. Lots of white, but we're also seeing some breaks in the overcast as well, but really nothing on the way of precipitation yet. Maybe a few little showers south of Ocean City and near Crisfield. Otherwise, you see this little spin here near Baltimore. That's an upper level low. And with that, we have a stationary boundary just to our north and west. And once again, that will be the focus for the potential of flash flooding as we go into the afternoon. So with that front nearby, training storms are possible with drenching downpours into the afternoon and evening hours. So definitely be weather aware. Futurecast this afternoon at 1 p.m. We're into the mid 80s. And once again, with the heating, I think we'll see some of these showers and storms popping up once again. A lot of rain in a short period of time is possible. 5 p.m., maybe a heavier storm near Dewey Beach back through Salisbury and near the Millsboro and Georgetown area through the evening hours. Then things quiet down. We'll see mostly clear, partly cloudy skies overnight. Maybe a little bit of fog tomorrow morning. Temperatures in the 70s, and then it starts getting pretty warm Wednesday afternoon, upper 80s and lower 90s. I think we could see some storms into the evening hours and then continuing later into Wednesday evening with some heavy rain at that time. This is the last push of rain, I think, as we go into late Wednesday and Thursday. No severe weather expected today, but with those storms popping up, the main threat is heavy rain. And you can see over the next few days as we're going to be looking at least a half an inch to as much as 3 inches. So really take it easy out there as our muggy meter is showing very humid to miserable conditions right through the rest of the week into the weekend. And by the end of the week, feeling like triple digit feels like temperatures away from the coast on Thursday. Actual temperatures low 90s, and on Friday feeling like 100 to 104. This afternoon, 85 in Dover and Georgetown. Could see that spotty shower or storm this afternoon. Some heavy rain. 86 in Easton, 88 in Vienna. Salisbury about 88 for you. 88 in Chincoteague and 83 in Ocean City. Paul Davis 7-day forecast. Wednesday, still that threat for storms. 89, then pretty hot for the end of the week. Thursday, 93. I think we get a break from the rain. A few more storms Friday, 91. Upper 80s into the weekend. Saturday looks good. Some storms Sunday, and those could linger into Monday as well.
Thank you, Bob. And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4.
Hope you're having a good Tuesday so far here along coastal Delmarva, but you don't want to miss Coast Life happening at 4 o'clock today, where we will be announcing the final total amount of money raised by you guys at the Rally for First Responders this year. Also, we're going to be checking in with our friends at the Cape May Lewis Ferry to see all the fun happening this season. And we've got this week's Dish of the Week. We know that crab cakes they're a local favorite, and we're going to see Benvenuto spin on those as well. All that fun and more is happening today at 4 on Coast Life. We will see you there.
Mattel is releasing a new line of Barbies in honor of the 30th anniversary of the movie Clueless. The toy maker has designed both Cher and Dion Barbies. The two besties sport their classic ensembles from the hit 90s classic, along with cell phones and, of course, a learner's permit for Cher. Barbies are available for pre-order at major retailers for around $60. And it will soon be a little easier for football teams to get a play call from the sideline to players on the field. Starting this upcoming football season, Sony is providing NFL head coaches with updated headsets. Company officials say the new headsets can withstand a variety of extreme weather. They're waterproof and also have improved noise canceling abilities, a notable feature when visiting teams go into loud environments. And coming up on DSN at 4:30, there's softball, and then at 10:30, you can catch the final score. Coming up after the break, mood changing with the seasons. We'll tell you how to prevent becoming sad as the weather changes. About 13 million Americans are estimated to be affected by seasonal affective disorder. It's a form of depression typically seen in fall and winter months. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither shows us how the heat can trigger symptoms and how to protect those at higher risk.
The heat and humidity may make you a bit grumpy, but for those with underlying mood disorders, the season can amplify symptoms.
The difference between someone who's experiencing sort of normal stress-related response to heat versus something that might be more of a problem really depends on if it persists.
Psychologist Louisa Sylvia with Massachusetts General Hospital says if feelings of irritability, frustration, anger, or stress last for days and begin to impact family, school, or work, that may be a red flag.
Heat can impact serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter in the brain. And already people with mood disorders have a dysfunction in that neurotransmitter. So heat sort of exacerbates makes mood worse in those folks who have that sort of genetic vulnerability for mood disorder.
Sylvia says if you notice changes in sleep where you're getting less and changes of energy when you're feeling more energetic despite the lack of Z's, those are also red flags to see a doctor.
You need to drink a lot of water to stay hydrated. Also prioritizing your physical health, trying to get out when you can, particularly early in the morning or later at night when it's cooler. Staying cool with air conditioning if you have it, or staying near water if you're capable, or at least trying to stay in the shade and around fans.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Lots of clouds across Delmarva and on the Tunnel and Razor Cam too. Gray slate skies, 80 degrees. We could be looking at a few more storms into the afternoon as we're still looking at a flood threat for the next couple of days. Then it turns hot to end the week. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast, sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico. Your 10-day forecast is coming up next. If you're headed outdoors this afternoon, remember to grab the umbrella and rain gear and be weather aware. I think we're going to see storms firing again beginning mid-afternoon, and that could cause flooding in localized areas, especially in low spots and poor drainage areas. Paul Davis 10-day forecast, 87 with storms later, 89, still a little stormy, I think, later Wednesday, then hot for the end of the week. Thursday, 93, 91 Friday with storms feeling like triple digits. Weekend, not bad, upper 80s Saturday, storms Sunday, and more storms into next week with near normal temperatures.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Midday. And for more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. And don't forget to join us for Coast TV News at 5 later this afternoon. Have a great day.